Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I got to do a little adjustment. Bear with me, beautiful people. Bear with me, beautiful people. There we go. 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 Hello, everybody. Hi, beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Nights with Nicci. How y'all feeling tonight? What's popping with you all tonight? Hi, TikTok. TikTok, I felt like we had a wild affair last night. You feel me? I really appreciate you, TikTok, for showing up for me. I really appreciate you, Twitter, for showing up for me. I really appreciate you, Facebook, for showing up for me. I appreciate you, LinkedIn, for showing up for your girl. And of course, I appreciate everyone who is watching us at WIRF.tv and Instagram. Thank you guys for hanging out. Last night we had a wild one. You guys, we had a wild night with Nicci. And baby, when I tell you it was wild, honey, it was wild. I'm trying to get you guys together here at TikTok so y'all can have the full-on experience. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for joining me. Please, if you're coming in watching me at WRF.tv, please do me the kind favor of hitting like, hitting share, and hitting subscribe. I'm really happy to say that we are gaining a lot of momentum through our socials. I posted a graph and it's crazy because I hope we have another night on TikTok like we had last night. Can you guys hear me okay? Let's just make sure we got everything good on the mic. Does my mic sound nice? Check 1. Does my mic sound nice? Check 2. I'm okay. I'm okay on all the platforms. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. You guys, we got a lot of cool things to talk about. Let's just recap real quick last night while we wait for some more people to come in here and join us. Please be sure to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button as you come in. Tonight, we're going to be doing a little belchification because I'm drinking one of my favorites, Topo Chico. There is no advertisement here. You know, hey, listen. It would be nice if we get some advertisers up in here. That's definitely something that we have ads on YouTube and, monetize on other social platforms, but we're not mad at product placement opportunities. You feel me? So, if you are interested in this growing platform, we reached, I want to say we are well over 500,000 views in the last 28 days. And I know for a lot of content creators, hitting 500,000 views is something that you do on a regular basis. But for your girl, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it. We are just very happy that we have been able to do it in a world where it doesn't typically happen that often over here on WRF.tv. But again, we appreciate you guys. Welcome to all of our new subscribers. We also got a ton of new subscribers. TikTok, they told me don't play with y'all, and I'm not playing with y'all. Because TikTok, we got over 350 subscribers. By the time the TikTok was over last night, we had over 6,000 views on our TikTok live last night, and we had 100,000 likes. Let's give it up, TikTok. We had 100,000 likes. So for the people who have been riding with me on WIRF.tv and all the other platforms, I understand y'all are like, listen, we already know the story. We done already heard the story. You being redundant, whatever. But I got new family over on TikTok, so we got to make sure that everybody gets caught up. Although tonight we will not be going into all the shenanigans of R&B divas. That's the other thing I learned last night, you guys. Let me adjust my chair a little bit. Okay, here we go. Yeah. The other thing I learned is that there is a big audience for R&B divas. There is a huge audience out there for R&B divas. And, sometimes you wonder, like, do people really care? Are people still interested? It was so long ago, but you guys care. You guys definitely care about some R&B divas. So I'm very excited about that. So, and you also are really enjoying our other WIRF.tv network content from the bottom up, which is a series that I produced with the incomparable, amazing, incredible Queen Latifah's company, Flavor Unit. We did it over at B. Ooh. Y'all heard that? I heard that. Something almost knocked the camera over. I think we okay. But I got to be more careful. But yeah, you guys are enjoying the content. So I really appreciate it. And we are getting very close, very, very close to 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. And when we hit 20,000 subscribers in YouTube, we are going to release, drum roll, more new content. So please make sure, if you aren't, that you are, hi TikTok, ticking and talking, ticking and talking. I see y'all over there, TikTok. I'm so glad you guys showed up. Now, I started a live event. I don't know if I was supposed to go live from the TikTok live event, but I'm learning all of the things, you guys. I'm also learning the what do you call it? Algorithm protocols and all of that. You guys, we gotta diva this thing out a little bit, because we gonna be talking about some things tonight. Miss Thing, there is no guest list tonight. Everybody's welcome. Okay, so guys, let's get into our hot topics. We are going to get into the Q&A, but the Q&A is the late night party, you guys. So if you have any questions, or if you had a question from last night that I did not get around to answering on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or any of those places, please forgive your girl. Charge it to my head, not my heart. And thank you. Let me say this again before we get into our Nights with Nicci tonight. Let me say this. I sincerely appreciate y'all. I really appreciate you guys for allowing me, coming and tuning in, showing up like you care. I appreciate that. Because it's been a very turbulent few years. I don't really like to keep saying that. I don't really like to manifest. I think that words have a tremendous amount of power. So I like to be really careful about how I speak about my situations and whatnot. But I'm grateful. Y'all know it ain't been easy. I know it hasn't been easy for any of us. I was watching Funky Deneva's live tonight. And everybody seems to be really it's heavy on all of us, you guys. If you watch the news cycle, if you're tuning into what's going on in entertainment, it's just heavy for a lot of people. So I want to say, I hope that God blesses and protects each and every one of us, anybody in earshot of these lives, keep going, keep pushing. We're all going through hell, but like they say, when you're going through hell, keep going. Right? I believe that was Winston Churchill. I don't know shit. All these quotes belong to everybody. But anyway, in the spirit, now we got some people in this room. Please make sure as you come in here, I look a little chalky, you guys, but I'm sorry. I think I overpowdered. But anyway, I was trying to be halfway cute, because last night we had so many people on the lives. I was like, I need to be cute, because TikTok over here showing out. Listen, Instagram, TikTok is showing out on y'all asses. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. YouTube. Yeah, y'all know y'all my heart. This where this whole Nights with Nicci thing started, right? So I'm always gonna be loyal to my YouTube people. But I'm trying to tell you, I'm learning that there is a place. There's a place for us. Somewhere, a place for us. And it's looking like TikTok. I'm just saying. And YouTube, of course. So Instagram, all I'm trying to tell y'all is just step this up. Okay, let me do a little bit of roll call. Again, if you're coming in here and if y'all notice that I spell something different, or not different, if I spell something wrong, TikTok, y'all can't really see it over here on the WIRF.TV YouTube channel, but if you come over here, you will see your girl be moving fast. Last night, I was a little emotional and just a wee bit high strung. And I spelled the word subscribe wrong. And I looked back at it and I was like, oh, well, ain't nothing I can do about it. So let me take my time. Notifications. How you spell that? Okay. So I want to be able to remind you guys. See, I spelled it wrong. See, I did it again. Hold on. Nope. Remove from broadcast. Hold on, guys. Like, share, and TikTok, can y'all hear me okay? Can you give me hearts if you can hear me okay, TikTok, please? Let's get to 150,000 tonight. We got to 100,000 last night. Come on, TikTok. And act like y'all don't see that big old piece of gel. Oh, don't you hate when gel get white? It's real obvious on TikTok. Don't talk bad about me, y'all. Like, share, subscribe. And the word is notification. So I think the reason you hit the notification button is because my ass has a problem showing up on time at 10:30. And in the event that I continue to have a problem showing up on time at 10:30, y'all can always hit that notification button and it'll be like, yeah, her slow ass is finally on here. So let me say hello to my people. Hello, Grateful Life. Make sure, like Grateful Life said, great for your life. I'm sorry. Gag for your life. I ain't got my glasses on. You feel me? Gag for your life says subscribe, hit the notification button, and smash all. Michelle Frederick says from the bottom up. I think Fralic is the name. Yes, we have a nice from the bottom up announcement for you guys as well. Hey, Victoria. It is so good to see you. I see you. I see you. And how do I find you on TikTok? It is at Nicci Gilbert on TikTok. I'm at Nicci Gilbert on TikTok. What up, Soror? Yep. I see you, and thank you for letting me know. J Rock the actor, yes, we are back again. Cherry Black, hey girl, how you doing? W Anderson, how are you? Let me come over here at TikTok and show my TikTok people some love. Show me love. What's up, Black Cherry? What is up, Mr. I'll be doing this all night, but what's up, all my people? What's up, my people on Facebook? What's up, my people on Instagram? What's up? I see you so Toofly, and I see you, Sharice39, and I thank y'all. All right, so let's get into some of these hot topics, you guys. Let's get into the news like we are CNN, and that N is affectionately known as Nicci. All right, I want to start this thing off with a little bit of positive news, y'all. We gonna get warmed up and get into the messy shit. But I want to get into a little positive news. On TikTok, you notice that I have a Chick-fil-A background, and you guys see up in the upper right or left-hand corner, I don't know where I'm at, I have a Chick-fil-A image. So this, first of all, if you're not following Pretty Shades of Melanin, I'm sorry, on Instagram, please do, because I have a bunch of feel-good stories from that Instagram page. So, meet Sharina Quick. She is the first Black woman to own a Chick-fil-A across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, baby. Now, I absolutely love this story because at the end of the day, we have so much negative press out there about Black women and so many Black women. This is Women's Equal Pay Day. I'm sorry, Women's Equality Day. And, you know, bah humbug. But we got so many negative stories out there about women losing their jobs and losing opportunities. This is a positive one. So Serena Quick is the first Black woman to own a Chick-fil-A, multiple locations across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. From growing up in public housing, right? Come on, Serena. Growing up in public housing to now building a thriving career, her journey shows that resilience, hard work, and faith can do. She is not just running restaurants. She is creating opportunities, 100+ local jobs, and inspiring the next generation to dream bigger than their circumstances. Serena is proof that representation matters. Would y'all like to see more stories like this? Super duper positive. Let's give Serena a huge nice and Nicci round of applause, because listen, it ain't easy, and sisters are out here really making it happen, Captain. All right, let me get on my green screen situation so I can figure out. Oh, y'all, I'm messing up again. Hold on. Green screen. Here we go. I'm trying to be fly, you guys. Okay, that's it. Young Doctor is the next story. And then we'll get into our Q&A. Now, this one really made me feel good, especially with all the cuts to Medicaid and Medicare, with all the things that we're hearing about our seniors not being able to get the services that they need, our kids not being able to get the medical services that they need. This is a really great feel-good story. Again, if you're not following Pretty Shades of Melanin, please make sure you do on Instagram. That's where I'm picking up these stories. If you need to just feel good, I know we go through a sea of toxic and negative, bad narratives or whatever. Please give us hearts as we're sharing these positive stories. Positive stories come first, then the clownery, and then the more serious shit we talk about in the end of this episode tonight. And if we have time and it doesn't go into 2 hours, we're gonna make sure that we do a little Q&A and some shady stuff. But anyway, all right, talk about inspiring. History has been made. At just 13 years old, Alina Annalie McWhorter has officially become the youngest Black student accepted into a U.S. medical school. Her story proves that age is no barrier when purpose, discipline, and brilliance collide. This is more than just a personal win. It is a powerful reminder of what's possible for young Black girls in education and STEM fields. Do you think that schools should do more to nurture and support genius students? Listen, let me tell y'all something. At 13 years old, she has made history as the youngest person, not the youngest black person. Oh, I'm sorry. She is the youngest black student. I'm wondering if she's the youngest student or not. We'll find out. But she is the youngest black student to enroll in medical school. So you guys, let's give our little sister Alina some hearts. Let's give her some love. Like I said, if you want to give hearts to the people we're talking about in these stories, you can give them to me. And like they do on the Grammys, I'll make sure that she get them hearts if we ever run into one another. Please, if you're coming in, watching us on WIRF.tv or any other platform, please do your girl the kind favor of hitting like, share, and subscribe. Now, this one is, for me, another feel-good story. When I first heard about this story, many of you probably heard about it and probably felt the same way that I felt as well. A Maryland black daycare owner who pow-powed her ex-husband. She pow-powed her ex-husband for, I think I could say this word, abusing children. And she's finally free. She is finally free. Some of y'all might have heard that story. Let me tell you, when I heard that story about this sister pow-powing her ex-husband because he was inappropriate with kids, I don't even have to tell you guys. Y'all know WIRF Media, WIRF TV, you know, social conflict. The story of social conflict is centered around, you know, abuse by our high school music teacher. You guys, if you on TikTok, well, by now on TikTok, you know, because you've been following me, or hope that you're following me and not just watching me and not following me. But we did a short film called Social Conflict. And I'm going to do a watch party with Social Conflict. Maybe I'm busy as hell this weekend. But anyway, and the film addressed the actual violent, damn, y'all, what words can I say on these apps without them like shooting me down, you know? There I go saying another word I shouldn't say. But anyway, it addresses inappropriate behavior, and it's based on a true story. So to me, when I found out what she did, because she ran a daycare center and she found out that old dirty bastard was doing horrible things to children, I mean, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I always say if it were I and I discovered it, you know, would I have responded the same way? And, you know, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear from the chat. If you found out somebody in your husband was doing stuff to these youngins out here and you had people's babies in your care and your man was out here being inappropriate with them, would you pull out the whopper snapper and snap that mother swapper or not? But let's get into this story because I believe that this is a very inspiring story, despite the fact that, yeah, somebody did end up getting a cap in that A. She took her power back. Shantari Williams, a black woman and former daycare owner, made national headlines in 2022 after taking matters into her own hands. When she discovered that her husband had been abusing children at her daycare, she didn't stay silent. She protected those babies and made a choice that would forever change her life. He was sentenced to life, and just like Sarah's father. She was sentenced to 4 years. Now she's out, and her voice is louder than ever. This isn't about what happened. This is about every black woman forced to choose between justice and survival. Let's get it, sister. Let's show her some love because she stood on business. If standing 10 toes and standing on business was a person, that person's name would surely be Shantari Weems. So once again, big round of applause to our sister Shantari Weems. All right. Y'all with me TikTok? Y'all with me LinkedIn? Y'all with me Facebook? Are y'all with me WIRF.tv YouTube? Are you with me IG? And are you with me Twitter? Guys, when I was looking at the stats, honey, from the viewership, honey, on these various apps, my dear, I was like, well, damn, I got 200,000 followers on IG. Yeah, I'm talking to you right now, IG. I got 200,000 followers on IG, and I had 20 people on there. And I probably got, let's look and see how many IG folks. Let's just see what the algorithm really over here doing. Okay? Yeah, I got 3 people on IG and I got 200,000 followers, you know? So yeah, go figure. And maybe it's just because I'm always advocating social justice and creative equality. I don't know, but I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on with that as well. But let's get into some more of these hot topics, you guys, and then we're going to get into some Q&A, and we're going to expound on things that you may have been interested in hearing more about. So how do y'all feel about this? You guys, I make it very clear. I'm aging. I'm 55 years old, baby. I have been honest about the fact that, yes, your girl has had some cosmetic surgery here and there. I first had cosmetic surgery at 23. She had a whole tummy tuck. And my mother was like, are you crazy? You know, and it was arranged by some contacts at the label. Actually, you know what? Some contacts at the management company, right? But long and short, I don't regret it. I do not regret having had a tummy tuck, even though I did that shit way too soon. And I talked about it. It's really interesting. I talked about it with Egypt on R&B Divas. I think it was one of the first time I was as transparent about the cosmetic surgery and what that was all about. And I needed it because they took off 9 pounds of excess skin, you guys. So I had a lot of extra skin, and I'm creating and building my Curvato lifestyle, both Instagram and TikTok pages. And I'm going to be sharing more about my lifestyle journey, my fitness journey, my wellness journey. I am not opposed to cosmetic surgery. I am not opposed to a little nip-titty, tuck-titty. But I am concerned when you do it too young. So I've always advocated, or you do it for the wrong reasons, because there's a lot of folks out here that's doing it for all the wrong reasons. If you think having cosmetic surgery is going to miraculously turn you into a person with more character and morals, or you think that it's going to be the thing that definitely gets you a man or even more friends, that ain't it. Don't do it for that reason. But if you're doing it, like in my case, for me, it was about building more just confidence in myself, wanting to see and be able to really appreciate me. And I was so depressed because I had like skin just kind of like, hey girl, hey, you know what I'm saying? So zip, zap, wiggity bam, threw that in the trash somewhere, I think. I don't know. And I am cut from here to here. And I don't regret it. I do not regret my tummy tuck. And I've had more than just a tummy tuck, but you know, I'm not the cosmetic surgery queen. I ain't just ran around here having surgeries all the time, done nothing to my face. I ain't done no crazy stuff. But, well, that's not crazy actually, because I don't know if I turn a certain age and I see things starting to fall down. And when you get up, it all falls down. Hey, I love Selena Johnson's voice, her music, and I love Selena Johnson. I know last night y'all probably be like, yeah, right, I don't get it, but you know, I do. All right, let's get into the story. Kris Jenner reveals that she got a second facelift at 69 to be the best version of herself, and she says that it is her personal version of aging gracefully ahead of her 70th birthday party. I'm sorry, I'm just adding words and shit. See, she didn't say shit about a party. She said her 70th birthday. But I'm assuming because the Kardashians be having parties and shit that she's going to have a party. Please give me some likes if you guys are coming in. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button for your girl. I would so appreciate it. And thank you guys for, y'all been watching them clips. So thank you guys for doing that. All right, so according to the Jasmine brand, reality TV star is getting candid about her decision to undergo another facelift. At 69, she revealed her motivation in September issue of Vogue Arabia. That sounds so like sophisticated. I had a facelift about 15 years ago, so it was time for me to refresh. Jenner told the magazine, I decided to do this facelift because I want to be the best version of myself, and that makes me happy. See what I'm saying? Do it for you, boo. She ain't doing it for no man. She ain't doing it for her kids. She ain't doing it for her grandkids. Kris is doing it so that when she wakes up and looks in the mirror, she's like, yes, bitch, you're snatched. So the Kardashians matriarch turned 70. All right, she looks awesome for 70. She looks fantastic. Okay, Kris. Baby, money will keep you looking young and tender all the time, won't it? No, she turned 70 in November and had a clear message for readers. If you feel comfortable in your skin and you want to age gracefully, meaning you don't want to do anything, then don't do anything. But for me, this is my version of, I'm sorry, let's be clear. This is aging gracefully. It's my version. So she joins her daughters, Khloe Kardashian and Kylie Jenner, in embracing transparency around cosmetic procedures. Both recently detailed their enhancements online, while Kylie revealing her breast augmentation and Khloe listing multiple treatments, including Botox and a nose job. So here's the thing about the whole cosmetic surgery thing. I just thank God. Y'all, I got this ponytail pulled a little tight. So that's usually kind of the black girl's quick facelift. Although that is, from what I understand, not a healthy hairstyle, right? However, works for your girl. But when you don't have a lot of melanin in your skin, sometimes, I do wake up in the morning sometimes and I'll be like, damn, could I looking like, what would I do? Now, what I would consider Botox for, which I've heard, and if anybody has ever done this, please let me know, because I definitely have heard about it and I've definitely considered it. My husband was like, yeah, right, okay. But Botox for TMJ. I suffer from TMJ. I've suffered from TMJ since childhood. So I don't want to believe I'm a stressed out child. I was a stressed out child. I didn't feel like I had a stressed out childhood, but I have been, I grind my teeth since I was a little bitty. And I've been grinding them into adulthood. And yes, as an adult, I do definitely have more stressors, which is part of the reason why I'm constantly grinding my shit. But what I've heard is that if you do Botox, and you guys, if you heard about this, please let me know. And I'm not endorsing any cosmetic procedures, but I've heard if you do Botox, then it helps to paralyze the jaw, which makes it difficult for you to bite down, so you don't have that muscle and all that stuff. I'm not going to show y'all my little side muscle. It's kind of going away now, just because I've decided to let a lot of my stress go. I've decided that it's just not worth me stressing out about shit that I can't control. Because why? What is it called? Premeditated, or anticipatory grief, anticipatory trauma. Don't do that to yourself. So what do you guys think? I would say round of applause for Miss Kris Jenner, because she looks fantastic. And listen, if you got the money and you know that she's going to a doctor who is probably quadruple board certified, and no doctor want to be the one to be responsible for one of the Kardashians not being happy about, their outcome. So cheers, cheers, cheers. And the other thing is, I believe that you do it, while you can, because the older you get, the more risky the procedures are. So cheers to Topo Cinco to Kris Kardashian. All right, girl. She said, baby, I might be getting older, but I'm getting fine as frog hair. How about it? All right. In another sort of I was supposed to have a picture of Kris Jenner up, you guys. I didn't hear. Here's the picture of Kris TikTok. I was supposed to have a picture of Kris up while I was talking about her TikTok. So there's your picture of Kris Jenner. So next subject, honey, let's talk about the doesn't she call herself the Grande Dame? Karen Huger from the show Housewives of Potomac is being released very soon, September 2nd. She's being released. So she has a new release date, and she's going to be out on September 2nd. Sources tell us that the 62-year-old is set to be released next week. This marks an early release for Karen, who was sentenced back in February to 2 years with one suspended and $2,900 in fines and 5 years of probation. As reported in 2024, she was convicted of driving under the influence and other charges connected to a crash near Oakland Drive. Now listen, I don't know if y'all had a chance to see the video. And I did not want to watch the video because I was like, I'm not watching a video of a woman getting arrested and, food for the streets and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But baby, I made the mistake of watching. And then once you start watching the video, and I'm not trying to push people to watch her video because who wants the world to see that over and over again? But I'm just going to tell you, I could not stop watching. It was one of those oh wow, this is gonna be a thing, because yeah, it was a thing. So driving while intoxicated, drunk, inebriated is never a cool thing to do. I do not stand by it at all. However, I believe, I pray, I hope that Karen has learned her lesson. The body cam footage was one to see. She's dealt with 3 other alcohol related, allegedly, I don't know, I haven't verified any of this, through Pacer, and Pacer, boys and girls, is where you go to get the facts laid out in the court. But the cases did not result in jail time. Upon her release, Karen, who's also known, yes, as the Grand Dame, will be prohibited from driving for 1 year. So I'm sure that her husband, who was there at the time that she got arrested, I'm sure he's going to make sure that she get where she needs to be. And I'm sure production on the Potomac is wrecked. And they got drivers and whatever Karen needs so that she can go back to the show and share her story. So round of applause. It's never okay for someone to be locked up. It is also never okay for somebody to drink and to drive. That's some bullshit. Karen, I think you're fabulous, darling. She reminds me so much of Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles. They just favor to me. I get Macy Grace, so she just reminds me of Beyonce's mother. I think she's gorgeous, and she is getting released. Now, this was a very, very, very interesting story. I hope I have it. I do. Look at that pretty face, TikTok. Ticking and talking. Hey, TikTok. Hey, TikTok. It's your birthday. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate you guys. Hello, Instagram. Hello, LinkedIn. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Twitter. I'm sorry, I keep saying Twitter. I do not mean to offend you, X. Hello, X. And congratulations on a successful satellite launch, Mr. Musk. And hello, WRF.TV. Please, if you're coming in watching me on WRF.TV, please do me the kind gesture of hitting subscribe. The game is free. All I'm asking y'all to do is give me some hearts and some subscriptions. So I found this to be a very interesting story. I actually am a big Mena. Well, I'm a fan of Mena's, or Mena. I don't know, you guys, if I'm saying it right or whatever, but she says, and this is really interesting. We talked a lot last night about reality TV. Hi, everyone. I'm going to get into some Q&A. Where are we at? Let me look at the time. Hold on, because we ain't doing no long-winded ass 2-hour live. Oh, we 30 minutes in. We good. I'm almost done with my stories, and then we can start talking that real shit. You understand what I'm saying? But we're going to get these hot topics up out of here. Because I am really impressed with this next story. Mena says that she has outgrown love and hip hop with her pretty self. She says she has outgrown love and hip hop and she wants to focus on her film career. There is so much more to look forward to. For just that statement alone. Go ahead on, Miss Mena. I think that is so mature. I think that is so evolved. And I think that is smart as hell. Mena is proving that, and according to the Jasmine brand, let me give the source credit, Jasmine brand, most of the stories that I'm sharing with you all tonight are all from platforms that are either run by women of color or created and started by women of color or amplify in a positive way the voices of women of color, much like women in reality, film, music, media, and TV, aka WIRF TV. If y'all didn't know, that's the acronym, Women in Reality, Film, and TV. Let me turn this thing on. Okay, guys. So, Mena's story. Mena is proving that she can shine. That she can shine outside of reality TV. TMZ spoke with the former Love and Hip Hop star at the premiere of her new film Run, where she co-stars with Annie Ngozi Lyonza, please forgive me if I butchered your name, sis, Marcus Houston, and Drew Sidora. Erica said that she is thrilled about the next phase of her career. She explained that although she did not return to Love and Hip Hop after her clash with the dancehall star Spice, she stated, "I think I've outgrown it." There's so much more to look forward to, she added. During the chat, she also revealed that after Run, she will star in the next installment of Stepmother franchise, and this time alongside her 5-year-old daughter with Safari. But up, boom, and get that sister a round of applause. Baby, you got to know when to hold 'em and know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You better count your money when you're sitting at the table. Baby, listen, go ahead on Erica Mena. Bravo, bravo, bravo. That is what you call, ladies and gentlemen, a pivot. And shout out to Cynthia Bailey. You know what? I don't have her up for my story. I'm sorry for the show tonight, but let's give Cynthia a big old round of applause, because Cynthia, like I said, is one of my faves, and she is also really actively pursuing her acting in TV and film careers and stuff. You guys, let me turn this off because this thing just gonna keep going. So great, bravo to Erica Mena, bravo to Cynthia. That is also another feel-good story, but I wanted to just talk a little bit and sit in this moment with Erica Mena for a second, because see, I see what be going on over there on TikTok. Y'all be like, yeah, baby, this loose ass top. Y'all can't see it on IG, but oh, they was seeing it on TikTok. And I got on a bra that's the color of my skin, because that's my thing. So you ain't say, oh, look at those 30s, because you ain't seen nothing. I know. Stay on task. Erica Mena in the pivot. I wish more reality TV personalities and music personalities would embrace this graceful exit out of the skullduggery and buffoonery and shenanigans and shit. I remember briefly, I didn't get too into the story because, again, I do not like to amplify stories and headlines where Black women are beating each other up or dogging each other out. I know last night we went into very extreme detail about R&B divas, but baby, that was just about me laying the truth out there, so y'all can always go back to it and revisit it if you need to. But and all in the spirit of healing and going forward. But for her to make a conscious decision to say publicly, I've decided that I've outgrown that. I've decided that I want to move into the area of scripted. I want to move into the area of rebranding. That is a very courageous thing to do. I remember when I left R&B Divas that season, and this is not going to be another R&B Divas rant. This is just what I believe is an important point for what I'm trying to say. So I remember after I left R&B Divas, I did an interview with Ryan Cameron. We were doing like a Hosea Feed the Hungry campaign. And I was very clear when I was explaining to him that sometimes as a creative, sometimes as a person who wants to rebuild your career, you have to leave money on the table. It's not easy. It is not easy, because I'm sure Erica Mena could probably get a nice bag for going on reality TV and flipping the table or going off. But like she said, she's been doing that for a number of years. She's a beautiful woman. She has a beautiful family. Her kids are at the age where they are probably more impressionable and could be exposed to some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was a wise decision for her to make. And I think it was smart for her to publicly say it, because, you know, these young women out here in her age group, they're always going to, for me, it's always going to be, okay, auntie. Okay, you wish, auntie. I got 500 million streams, auntie. And they don't really listen, because, you know, we've conditioned our youth to believe that because they got the bag or because they've got a bunch of followers that, you know, first of all, you know, they unplug your ass in a heartbeat and your followers is going with you. They unplug my ass. My followers still know where to come to the Old School Cool Down Barbecue Festival, announced on what? The radio, terrestrial radio. That's where our fans live. That's where our shows are advertised. And, you know, so if this thing went bloop and unplugged it because we are analog folks, we know how to find the people that we want to come and support and patronize or whatever. But these social media and streaming and digital era folks, you got a lot to learn about a loyal grassroots fan base. That's what people mean when they mean longevity in a grassroots fan base. But that's a whole nother lecture for a whole nother day. But I think it's really smart of her to take the steps to now, while she's still hot, and get out while you're hot, baby. Listen, nothing like getting out of something because they force you out of the pasture because you allegedly washed up or has been or stale, right? You don't get to really negotiate your price as much if you are a washed up has been and then you just suddenly, please give me hearts, you guys. We ain't nowhere near that 100,000 hearts that we had on TikTok yesterday. I need TikTok. I need y'all to show up. And Instagram, what are we doing? Let me come in here and while I'm doing my little check, let me come here and check. Okay, Instagram, we still at 3 people. It's all right. I don't know how we get to 3 people with 200,000 followers, but there's something to be said about the foolery, right? Because, yeah, it's not. And just to put it into perspective, I have 3,900 followers on TikTok, and there were 6,000 viewers and 100,000 likes last night. I don't know. We'll find out that global algorithm is a real thing. Okay. But yeah, let's give another big round of applause to our sister friend, Erica Mena. And baby, Erica, holla at your girl, Erica, because girl, I might have a role for you, girl. Okay, I'm trying to find the image for my next story. Oh, that ain't it. That's it right there. Y'all see that, boy? That's Lil Nas X. Now we're getting into some of the juicy stuff. Lil Nas X is in a little bit of trouble. And yeah. Let me see. If you guys hear snoring, it's my dog outside my door. He's baby, that's my baby. And he just loves to be up under me waiting for me to come up off my live. So, just if you hear it, I just can't. I don't have a heart to wake him up. Then he gonna fall back to sleep and be snoring again. But let's get into this story, so we can get into Q&A. 45 minutes. Yep, I got another 5 minutes of stories, and then we can get into some freestyle stuff. Okie dokie. This is courtesy of Baller Alert, which I understand allegedly Baller Alert is run by a black woman. So let's give Baller Alert. I think the Shade Room is the Jasmine brand. Let's give it up for these black women-owned media companies that are thriving and kicking ass. So Lil Nas X has allegedly injured 3 officers during his arrest. One required hospital treatment. Lil Nas X is finally out of the slammer and more has been revealed about his encounter with police officers during his viral, they calling this an NAKED stroll, but I didn't see that man NAKED. I think that's a little exaggerated. What I saw was the brother had on his underwear, and clearly he was under the influence of some kind of substance. Well, not clearly, allegedly and whatnot. The rapper is out on bail after being charged with 4 felony counts, 3 for battery, 1 police officer with injury, and 1 for resisting arrest following a wild early morning incident on Ventura Boulevard. According to TMZ always there, ain't they? Law enforcement sources allege that Lil Nas X was completely nude in Studio City, which I didn't see that, but maybe he was. In Studio City, when police approached him, officers say he then charged at them without warning, resulting in physical altercations with multiple officers. One reportedly suffered a head abrasion, another injured his hand, and a third experienced a back sprain, severe enough for him to require hospital treatment and a week off duty. Despite the chaos, sources confirm no tasers were used during the arrest. Instead, officers used what was described as police radio transmissions. What was described in police radio transmission as a firm grip to bring Lil Nas X under control. Wow. So this is really sad. It's really, really sad because, again, he's 26 years old. These kids are really young. Sounds to me that when we're talking about back and neck injuries, that there could possibly be major litigation, lawsuit. This young man could, he risked losing a lot, including his freedom, which is probably the most important part about it. And I just, okay, he actually was NAKE naked in that video. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hate that. Oh my God. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. So clearly he was under some kind of, influence, and even if he wasn't, just the influence of the entertainment industry can sometimes be enough. You guys, I have said so many times, and I will say it as often as I need to. When you sign these record deals, he's 26 years old now, right? Thank you, TikTok, for coming in here, hanging out with us. Thank you, everyone. Please hit like. Please hit notification. Please hit subscribe. But I've been in this industry for 31 years, you guys, and I'll never forget the first time I met Pac. Like, it just, I think about Aaliyah. I think about so many Left Eye, so many of our peers in this industry who just moved on too soon, and I know that you can't question God and you can't question his plan. And, I understand that, we're only here for a reason, a season, and definitely not a lifetime. Well, a lifetime, but definitely not forever. I'm sorry. And when I see stories like this, it really breaks my heart because we are really experiencing a difficult time in our community, right? As people of color, shit is pretty damn foul right now. You got 318,000 Black women who have lost jobs in the last 90 days, right? You got the biggest moguls and most successful people in our industry who are being accused of the most egregious, heinous, foul behavior ever. You've got moguls who really don't care about, I can't say they really don't care, but I just feel like there's so much more we can do. If you've already become successful, and a lot of people will probably disagree with my analogy, and that's okay. And we all have the right to our own thoughts and opinions. I'm just giving you mine on Nights with Nicci. But I feel like once you've achieved a certain level of fame and success, like when I turned 55, I was like, I don't want to just really be out here all up in the videos dancing or all in these places performing. Like I've done it for 30 years. Like I've had my share of hearing the applause. And I said this when we did R&B Divas, and I'll never forget Shirley Ralph checked my ass, honey, because I said, well, I don't want to do it for applause anymore. I want to do it for a cause. And she was like, honey, God gave you a gift that you could use to do it for both, applause and a cause. And she's right, because she's been doing Diva Simply singing and doing great things throughout. But I say this because I'm at a place in my career and in my life where I'm ready to pass the baton. I'm ready to give the next creatives a platform and an opportunity. And that doesn't mean I go away or I retire. It just means that I don't have to be front and center. I don't have to lead every song. I don't have to, all eyes ain't got to be on me. I enjoy the time that I spend with y'all, on these streaming streets. You know what I mean? Like that's enough exposure. Well, it's not enough. We need more. We need like 500,000 followers tomorrow. But, y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? Right. But I just feel like that there's so many people in our community, Black entertainers in particular, who have dropped the ball, and I know that's not going to make me no friends, but honestly, in this fake ass industry, I don't really think that any of us really has any. I mean, shit, look at Diddy. Because before all of this shit went down, everybody was Diddy's friend or wanted to be, all up in the videos. But, he goes through this moment and gets, called to the carpet, and all of that disappears, right? And I think it's sad because when you look at what happened with Tyla, allegedly, she's got a great team though, because they made that shit go away fast. So if anything did happen, we don't know about it. It ain't your business. We're handling this over here. And with Lil Nas X, when I look at what's happening with him, when I look at so many others, I'm gonna get into the Cardi B story after this. I got 2 more stories, and then, where are we? 50 minutes. Hurry up with my long-winded ass. I just be talking. Give me them likes. Give me them likes. With Lil Nas X and a lot of the other young people, I believe, and I said this after Whitney died, I said this after Bobby Christina, I just think that for an industry that makes billions and billions of dollars off of the creativity and the genius of young, impressionable, geeked up, to be totally honest, Black people, to not care more about their mental, physical, and spiritual wellness is really sad and criminal. And I wish that I had the resources and the power and the relationships to really amplify the message of how important mental wellness in entertainment and media is, because you guys, I've said this a gazillion times. Here I go sweating because I know I'm talking about some shit that's going to probably, but here we go. I've said this so many times. There's so much money generated in entertainment and media. So much money. Money we don't even know about. Money we can't even imagine. It is a very lucrative industry. And if for years and years and years and years and years, artists have succumbed to addiction and low self-esteem and GUN violence, and how do you have a whole record deal and selling all of these millions, hundreds of millions of records, and you just get GUNNED down in the streets? How's there nobody there with you, making sure that does not happen? How are there not people? If you're in the NFL, if you're in the NBA, if you're in all of these various sporting things, these people protect their investments. In the entertainment and media business, they don't, because number one, there's just so many people who are ready to take the place of the person who goes away. And also because you don't have to have somebody living and breathing to be able to monetize their genius. It's so sad. You don't need a Whitney Houston for her records to keep playing on the radio and streaming all over the place and making you money. You don't need a Michael Jackson for his records to keep streaming all over the place and making a whole lot of money. You don't need a Tupac. You don't need the artist. And that's such a dangerous place to be in, where you worth more out of here than you are here. And it's just sad. And it's so unfair, because the other thing is, so many of our youth are inspired or discouraged. Their moods are triggered by these artists that have these platforms that reach millions of people. And hopefully, kids grow out of, some of the messaging and, go on to evolve and become, well-functioning adults and great. But we know the impact of music on our communities. We know how dangerous it can be. Lyrically, lifestyle, narratives. It's terrible. It really is terrible. And I just think that if more people cared, and if more people felt like it was important to make sure that, in Motown, they had something called quality control. And quality control was where the artists went through this process of artist development and quality control, which now I think it's the name of a company here. But, in Motown era, my dad was a Motown writer. Actually, I found out that Fawn Weaver's dad and my dad were actually friends, the founder of Uncle Nearest, where I actually knew each other at Motown, and they were both Motown producers and worked together on projects. So a little bit of trivia, but they were just really good back in the day and making sure that artists had the things that they needed so that this was less likely to occur. It was something that we were stunned to hear about. Now it's just become par for the course, and I really pray that these young people get it together. So, speaking of another young person who is in the middle of some things, but this time, it doesn't seem to be. I looked at a little bit of it, and we'll get into it a little bit more tomorrow. But Cardi B is on trial for, I had no idea. She's on trial for an ex-security guard alleges that there was a brutal attack, in 2018 that had racial slurs, and this whole thing allegedly is a cover-up. Okay, so Cardi B's civil assault trial was underway in Los Angeles. The ex-guard alleges that a brutal 2018 attack with racial slurs in a cover-up. Before jurors on Monday, Cardi B's civil assault trial officially began in Los Angeles. Bravo. Let's get, first of all, while we talking about it, let's give Cardi B a round of applause for actually getting a jury. Hello, because we know that not all black women do what? Get a jury. So bravo, Cardi B, for actually getting a jury. At the center of this case is a former security guard, Imani Ellis, who accuses Cardi B of physically attacking her during a 2018 visit to the Beverly Hills medical office. Ellis alleges that the rapper struck her in the head, face, and body, spat on her, and used racial slurs because she suspected that Ellis, the security guard, was recording her. The lawsuit also claims that Cardi B's security guard assaulted Ellis, and the efforts were made to erase the video evidence of the altercations. She gave an emotional testimony telling the story that experience left her with lasting damage. She also testified that Cardi B never apologized for the encounter. Ellis stated that she suffered facial scars from the rapper's fingernails, but admittedly she did not photograph her energies at... Hold on, let me read this one more time because that don't make sense. She said that she suffered facial scars from the rapper's fingernails, but she admitted that she did not photograph her injuries at the time. She explained that she was too distressed in the aftermath and didn't initially intend to pursue legal action. Okay. Okay. You get into a scarfuffle with a very successful rapper, and you don't take pictures of the injuries, and she messed your face up, and she caused you emotional scarring. Yeah, okay. I never, ever want to victim shame. I never wanted to appear as though I'm not, especially with me being somebody who, got a whole case in the whole Supreme Court. I always want to, err in favor of the underdog. But ma'am, you a whole security guard. And Cardi B allegedly did all of these terrible things to you, including scratching your face up, and you did not take any pictures? Yeah, okay. And you weren't going to sue, but you were emotionally scarred. I'm just reiterating what allegedly, this could not be accurate information, maybe, but I did see a clip, and I remember while I was watching the clip, I was thinking to myself, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I will say this. I like Cardi B. Now, for those of you who like, yeah, but when she came out with WAP, you wasn't, nope, I don't like Wet Ass. I don't like the song. And I don't like some of the other stuff. But baby, I listen to that Cardi B album in the gym when I'm working out. And I just really appreciate her because she just strikes me as somebody who is raw, real, unfiltered, and super, transparent about things. Her kids are absolutely adorable. But Cardi is another example of someone who is super wealthy, super successful, but I think could benefit from an old auntie ass like me to just kind of, and it's, I did see a clip. This was really interesting. I did see a clip that kind of had me looking a little sideways. That she was being cross-examined in trial, I believe. And she, in the they asked if why she didn't have her bodyguard, or why her bodyguard didn't come with her or handle the situation with the security guard. And so they asked another question about, she said something like he didn't know where she was going, whatever. And he was like, well, you don't trust him. You don't trust. And she was like, well, for some things, yeah, but like, and it was kind of, it left, if you weren't really unpacking it or didn't hear the whole thing, it really made you kind of think, yeah, you know, if you trust a person to do their job. You trust a person to protect you in the event that, you know, some shit is going down. But like she said, I didn't need for him to be all up in my business knowing I'm going to my gynecologist and whatnot. So I thought that was really interesting. Just, you know, I don't know if she was traveling alone, but just handlers, you guys. It says a lot about handlers in Hollywood and, you know, in music. And it's just something, again, that I think could be revisited. You guys, please make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button. I'm definitely Team Cardi. Oh, thank you. I look amazing. I appreciate it, y'all. I thank you. That makes me feel good. That makes my old 55-year-old look good. Okay. Let me get to this. Oh, wow. I did. Was that my last story? Oh, I guess Cardi B was my last story. Okay. I thought Cardi B was my last. Oh, no, it's not. Nope, it's not. Ooh, 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 ooh. It sure isn't. Hold on. Find this damn story. I was going to talk about it last night, but I'm going to talk about it with you guys. Do I have it up? Yes. Okay, let me put it on. It's on TikTok. And let me put it here in my YouTube. You guys, this is an important story that I would like to talk to you all about. Nope, that's not it. I'm sorry. Let me find the photo. We are going to talk about this. Why are we going to talk about this? We are going to talk about this because it hits kind of close to home. Damn, y'all, I'm trying to find her. Okay, there it is. Hits kind of close to home. Hold on. Oh, I'm trying to put this up here for y'all, and it's just taking over the entire screen. I'm sorry, it was supposed to be under Cardi. So bear with me on my other platforms as I get this beautiful sister's face up here so we can talk about her. Y'all, please make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button for me. Yeah, guys, I'm please pray for everybody, because I just saw a couple of things and it just really made me like, wow. I'm just like, hold on. No, I'm not trying to find their publication. I want to hear what our people had to say about it. Hold on, guys. Bear with me. Please hit like while I'm waiting to get this this article up. What? I'm sorry. Okay. Black Enterprise was the article. That's why I wanted to read it specifically from here. So I mentioned this last night, and then I'll get to some of these questions. I see you guys have questions. I was trying to be under an hour. It looks like we're going to be an hour, 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you, guys. Please hit like. Please give me plenty of hearts. Sharon Chutter, I hope I'm saying this right, or Chuter, Chuter, trailblazing Yuoma Beauty founder and diversity advocate, found DEAD at 38 years old in Los Angeles. The founder of Yuoma Beauty, and driving force in the movement to diversity in beauty industry through both the company she founded and her own personal initiative, was found on August 14th, DEAD, on a patio, and her Eth, with the letter D, is currently still under investigations, reports People magazine. Now, what's really interesting about this, and part of the reason why it was so important for me to talk about this, is she launched this in 2019, right? A lot of businesses launched during COVID. Look how beautiful she is, y'all. with an initial offering of more than 100 inclusive beauty products. Okay, so a year after launching Yuoma Beauty, as conversations around diversity, equity, and inclusion gain momentum following the M word of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, she introduced two major initiatives, Pull Up for Change and the Pull Up or Shut Up campaign, challenging beauty companies to disclose the number of Black employees in corporate and leadership roles within 72 hours of being called out. Her initiatives also encouraged consumers to vote with their dollars and avoid companies that fail to divulge this information. She spoke about this in more detail 2 years later during the episode of The Drew Barrymore Show. I did that really to drive more awareness and shine more light on the lack of economic opportunities for Black community, especially within the beauty space. I've always been a person who speaks up. Whenever I see something that needs to change, I don't have it in me. It just means that, I don't have it in me means to just sit it out, she told Barrymore. Okay, so this is where it gets kind of interesting. According to Allure, in 2025, a few months before her untimely death, she filed a lawsuit against MacArthur Beauty, Brain Trust, and Settle Funding, alleging that Brain Trust took control of her operations and ultimately pushed Miss Cheddar out of her operational roles. In addition to this, Brain Trust stopped her operations while she was on medical leave, which was supposed to end in July of 2023. According to her lawsuit, she was supposed to return to the chief brand officer capacity, wherein she would have had been in charge of overseeing creative product development as well as being the face of the brand, but this did not happen. Furthermore, after the lawsuit was filed, Brain Trust gave its side of the story of what happened as Cheddar's tenure with Yuoma, I can't read, I ain't got my glasses on, Yuoma came to an end. It is not our practice to comment publicly on investments or private companies, but this specious complaint requires a response. Ms. Cheddar reassigned from Yuoma board and publicly on Instagram after hiring intern CEO who performed a forensic accounting review of the company. They said in a joint statement that MacArthur Beauty LLC leadership, the lawsuit filed in February, blah, 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 blah. As a result of this lawsuit, she was seeking damages for fraudulent transfer and MacArthur and Brain Trust receipt of her nearly $50 million in stolen assets, which she noted in her lawsuit should be determined according to proof at trial in excess of jurisdictional minimum of $25,000. So, okay, that was a lot. And part of the reason why it was important for me to share this is because as a woman who is in a lawsuit fighting a few multi-billion-dollar corporations, one of the things that you always think about is keeping your head on a swivel. I've had people say it to me all the time. Listen, at the end of the day, when God says it's time to come home, it's time to come home. And I believe that what goes around comes around full circle, right? I believe that what you do to others happens to you. And I believe that you have to be very vocal about what you're going through when you're going through it, because like they say, like we say in our family, don't die with the truth in you. Period. Don't die with the truth in you. Speak your truth when and how and where you have an opportunity to speak it. And I'm praying for her first and foremost. I'm praying for her. I'm praying for her family. I'm praying for everyone who loved her. I see that they're having an event for her in Los Angeles to honor her life and her memory. This is a story we're going to be following. I didn't say this. I meant to say this, but this case is under investigation. We do not know how this happened, right? So again, just like in the case of Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva and so many other cases where things like this happen, we have to be very careful about just adding shit to the sauce when we have no idea. We were not there. So I'm not going to lean into any conspiracy theories or anything, but I'm going to say I do understand what it is like to take on such a monumental entity or several and feel like you have to constantly be, I've had my head on a swivel for the last 5. Matter of fact, I done had my head on a swivel for my whole fucking career for 30 years. But more specifically, when you are in these high profile legal battles, you understand? But what you cannot do if you want to be a warrior for change, What you cannot do if you are thinking about something greater than yourself is be a fucking coward and be afraid to speak your truth and be afraid to stand up for yourself. Because what kind of life is that? What is it to live a life where you want to say something to benefit yourself and other people, but you're afraid that something could potentially happen because you're facing this giant? Well, giants have enemies too. And sometimes those enemies have just as much money or more than they do. And listen, I learned a long time ago, you got to have somebody checking the checker. And you got to have somebody watching the motherfucking watcher. So thankfully, you can't avoid tragedy. And we're all going to experience it at some point. Even the people who think they got so much money and power and control, they go one day. Oh, one day, baby. And see, the thing is that certain people are really covered in a different kind of anointing. Certain people are really highly favored in the space of karma and spirituality and the art of what goes around comes around, full circle, tenfold, right? And I believe I'm one of those people, for sure. And I believe a lot of people have had to learn the hard way. Fuck around and find out. And I believe that if you have something to say it while you have air in your lungs. Somebody hears you. Somebody sees you. Just like somebody sees and hears you that has nefarious intentions and plotting and planning and strategizing and, trying all of these ways to bring you down. There are people who are watching them every step of the way. Every move you make, every breath you take, every smile you fake. Listen, everybody watching everybody. Just put it that way. Because I know you're watching me. And she probably knew people were watching her. I mean, how do you have a high profile litigation like that and not think that? Everybody who's out here speaking up for our creative rights, everybody who's out here speaking up for our civil rights, it is not an easy thing. It is definitely something that is loaded with risks and loaded with opportunities for a really dark energy to try to creep in and say they did that. But no, that's God's job. So no matter what happens, all the great leaders, all the great orators, all the people who really care about people are aware that sometimes there are consequences to your advocacy. But what you don't ever want to do is be too afraid to lean into it, right? Because that's what we're here for, to learn and to share the knowledge that we gain. Okay, so guys, we're going to follow her story. We're going to be on it, like they say, white on rice. And we are not going to stop until what? We find out what happened to our sister. So just like if anything ever happened to my ass, y'all better not stop until you what? Find out what happened to me. And then you're going to put their asses in jail and we all going to do what? Thank you very much. All right. Okay, enough of that cryptic stuff. Let's get into some of these comments in the comment section. I'm going to do a few questions and whatnot, and I'm definitely not going 2 hours tonight. So I'm just going to stop this mug like Spunky didn't even stop this live. He just went off. Okay, there was a couple questions in here. Please follow me. Oh goodness. I got a lot to go through, honey. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Somebody asked if me and Selena get into a fight in the parking lot. No, we did not. Come on now. Y'all know I'm not fighting nobody in no street. Stop playing. I sue people. I don't fight them. I mean, unless my life depended on it, then it's me or you. We going down the hill together. We want it back. R&B Divas. Okay, here we go. See, y'all just not gonna let me live this R&B Diva shit down. At least I got my hot topics out of the way. Let's see. Period. Let's see. Love it from Charleston. Hey, Charleston. The gray looks amazing. Thank you, guys. Y'all, I've been thinking about you. Come on, y'all. For quite a while. You're on my mind every day and every night. My every thought is you. Sing with me, y'all. The things you do. Come on. Seems so satisfying to me. I must confess it, girl. Ooh, and I like it. Come on, y'all. You send chills up my spine every time I take one look at you. Ooh, and I like it. Come on, y'all. Girl, you're blowing my mind with the things you say to me. I like the way you comb your hair, and I like those stylish clothes you wear. It's just the little things you do that show how much you really care. Like when I'm all alone with you, you know exactly what to do, 'cause you put that fire inside of me and shows it's more than just a dream. Woo! Hey! Ooh! Stop playing, y'all. Stop playing. Shout out to El DeBarge. Let's give our brother El DeBarge and Switch family a big old round of applause. Let's say it says a lot without saying it's blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Definitely deserves more views. Absolutely. Lil Nas X needs to say no to the rugs. Yes, he does. I am with Cardi. Me too. Judge Mathis from Detroit. They would say the same thing. Let's see. Would we do another grown folks music too? That album is amazing. Thank you guys. If you got the grown folks music album, I really appreciate that. And if you don't have the grown folks music album, it just recently turned 10 years old and you should get it. Grown folks music is one of my favorite bodies of work, you guys. I love that record. It just really, I did that record with, the reason I think this record is one of my favorites is because the brothers that recorded this album with me are from Detroit, Eric and Doug. And Marcelo, it was quite a few, it was a number of people. Shep did a record as well. I just feel like it just kind of really embodied my vibe and what I was on. It was one of those records that I wrote most of it, and I wrote it from my heart and my soul, and yeah. So big shout out to anybody who got that grown folks music record. What else are we talking about? Nicci, your Martin episode is on BET right now. A room, ooh. Remember that, y'all? A room is still a room, even when there's nothing there. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing too much singing. Love your voice. Thank you so much. We all singing together, baby. That DeBarge can't come on and you're not singing. When you get a chance, tell us the difference between 25-year-old Nicci and you today. That's Chris Breezy. Victoria. My side. I was saying goodbye to him so I could be here with you. Before you give up on us, you gotta hear my side of the story I told. All right, y'all, I'm gonna stop. My side of the story was my favorites. A little bit of my side of the story trivia. Ray Lewis and Marcellus Wiley were my love interest in the My Side of the Story video, you guys. So I just took my stuff off on TikTok so you guys can just see me. Come see about me. How about that? Okay, let's get to a couple more questions and try to get out of here before it gets too late. Hi, Farrah Franklin. How are you? Oh, okay. I was going to answer Seabreeze's question about the difference between the 24. Farrah Franklin, send me a DM. Farrah Franklin, send me a DM. We should chat. 25-year-old Nicci and 55-year-old Nicci. 30 years. What have I learned in 30 years? What have I learned in 30 years? I have learned that I don't want to sound too profound. I actually want to just seriously think about, what I've learned, which is probably the biggest lesson of my life and my career, is that you really have to help people from a genuine place. What do I mean when I say help people from a genuine place? When you're helping people from a place that doesn't involve ego, right? And it's hard for us as human beings to not operate from a place of ego. Even if you are a nice person who wishes people well, who doesn't have any ill intentions for folks, right? You still, when you do a deed or you do something nice for somebody, some part of you does it with the expectation that either, it's going to be reciprocated in some way, either through the friendship or through, okay, I had an opportunity this time. When you get an opportunity, make sure you look out for me next time. You know what I'm saying? Paying it forward, right? And I learned in my career, because I've helped a lot of people, right? I know that there's this whole narrative on R&B divas, and there's a narrative if you are a fan of P Valley. And that narrative says, Nikki Gilbert bad, Nikki Gilbert bitch, Nikki Gilbert toxic. Some of you, most of you who know me don't feel that way. And I'm thankful for that. But I've helped a lot of people, and I've been disappointed, and not just people in the industry, family members. I'd have helped a lot of it. I would say probably 50% of my cousins or more and siblings have lived with me or had some kind of benefit of, us being, in the same space. I look out for people, I build for people. And what I've learned over the course of the last 30 years is that you just have to do it and let it go. You have to do it without expectation, because people will let you down every single time. I learned that the most important relationship that you can have with anybody is the one that you have with yourself. The most important conversations that you can have with anybody are the conversations that you have with yourself. The most impressed that you could ever be with anybody is how impressed you are with yourself. It is really about self-work, self-care, self-love. We get so caught up in wanting to be liked and wanting to be appreciated and wanting to be acknowledged. I did a lot of that in my 20s and in my 30s and even in my 40s. A lot of appeasing and acquiescing to bullshit that I just really ordinarily wouldn't have done, right? It's okay to be selfish. It's not okay to be mean. It's not okay to disrespect or to not acknowledge other people's needs and be helpful, but it's okay to be about self. I talked about this yesterday. I am in my villain era. And being in the villain era means I'm going to look out for me first and mine first. And in order for me to look out for mine, I have to look out for me first. And I had a hard time doing that for a very long time because I was concerned about people thinking that I was selfish or narcissistic or, whatever. But I'm like, as much as you have done to help other people, as many opportunities as you've created for other people to win, that's not who you are. And you and I have to know that. And I have to believe that. And I have to accept that. Because the bottom line is you will never do enough for other people. And when I started to realize that the people who had the biggest problems with me are the people I helped the most, I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back that didn't hear me. The people who I've had the biggest issues with are the people that I have helped the most. And when you think, well, what would resolve the problem? And you start thinking about how you can figure out a way to fix they shit. How you feel about me ain't my business. What you think about me ain't my business. Now, I address it when there's an honest question, like last night on our TikTok live and Instagram live and YouTube live. And please hit like and share and subscribe, would you please? But what I've learned is that there are a lot of, questions about things because people don't know. And I don't take offense when people ask me questions about R&B divas. I used to, because I was triggered by a lot of them. I used to because I believe that defined me. And to a certain degree, I have to accept that my reputation on R&B divas has had some kind of impact, and a negative impact on my career. But it's also had a very positive impact on my career. And had it not been for R&B divas, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be doing WIRF.TV YouTube channel streaming service, and I wouldn't be able to repost the clips and share that and talk about it and engage. I wouldn't have got to 6,000 people watching on TikTok yesterday. I don't know where the hell y'all at tonight, but I need y'all to show up. That's a joke, but it's for real. Come on now, don't let Instagram, because Instagram chickling up there that we done went from 3 to 6. So Instagram on your ass with the followers. Okay, but I learned in this 30-year time frame that, and the biggest thing that I learned is that this industry does not care about you. I don't know who needs to hear that. Young, creative, this industry does not care about you. They don't. And all the people who are screaming your name and following you and encouraging you, they're eventually going to, those applause are going to settle down a little bit. And if you're lucky, you'll have established something in your career that will sustain you. But for the most part, this industry is, in fact, smoke and mirrors. Fame is indeed a vapor. Money absolutely has wings, baby. You're going to be ebb and flow. You're going to be paid one day, broke as hell the next. The only thing that will sustain you in this life and in this industry is your character. Because they talk about this thing called aging well, and the things that age well and the things that don't. I'm 3 minutes away from getting off this live because I refuse to go to 2 hours with my long-winded ass. Things need to age well, and things only really age well when you're coming from the right place. That does not mean that you're going to look back at all the things that you've done and all the things that you've said and be like, yeah, I said that, I did that, I done that, right? Because some shit you still going to look back, even with the best of intentions, and be like, what the hell was I thinking about, right? But what you can pretty much guarantee is that when you look back on your life, if you were coming from the right place and you had the right intentions, whatever it is that you did, even if it wasn't the best choice at the time, will be something that both you can learn from and other people will be able to learn from, and maybe help them navigate some potholes, and maybe help people who might be leaning into the same decisions, which is why you guys see me replaying stuff that we've created, stories where people have outgrown their circumstances and are doing much better than they were. Like you look at Front to Bottom Up, all those women are doing significantly better than they were at the time that we filmed the series. Even on R&B Divas, all of us mentally, I think emotionally, spiritually, are doing much better, right? Now, we probably all missed the check, but for the most part, we're all doing better. And we're all doing better because we were transparent enough to allow whatever those moments were to grow us into better people. And hopefully the people who watch where we used to be, right? You look at the Sarah Stokes stuff, you look at the Latavia stuff, you look at the Nikki Gilbert stuff, you look at the Christine Beatty stuff, you look at the stuff with the women who were forced to, not forced to, but ended up in prison. You look at those moments and you're like, damn. But there are moments people can learn and grow from. And that's what I mean by having the right intentions and coming from the right place. So I am so glad we got through this with all hot topics and we didn't turn this into a long-winded ass R&B Divas rant. Thank you guys for getting us over 500,000 views in the last 28 days. Please help push us over on WIRF.TV YouTube channel to 20,000 subscribers. And I'll be back tomorrow on WIRF.TV. I will probably, am I going to do Friday? I don't know that I'll be able to do Friday, you guys. I'm traveling on business. I'm meeting with some people about some really exciting things that I'll be able to talk more with you guys about in the coming weeks is some really good shit happening, you guys. So please make sure that you hit the like, share, and subscribe button. This has been a 90-minute live and not a 2-hour one, so I'm going to go on ahead and get off of here. But thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting our platform, and just pray for the people around you, because everybody is catching hell right now. It's tough, and we got to just lean on each other. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Have a great night. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Nights with Nicci. Please make sure y'all hit like, share, and subscribe. If I did not get to your questions today, then I'll get to those questions tomorrow. God bless each and every one of you. I wish you love, peace, soul, and all the money and good food your heart and tummy can handle. All right, peace. All right, good night.